Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. Oh my goodness. This episode, I want to talk about maybe some of the crazy things I've done and maybe you've done too to try and save some money. Whew. I have done some things, but this last week or so, oops, these glasses are dirty, was one of the scariest. I have to admit. All right, let me go down. Hello, hello. I want to see who's in the house. Hey, Nora's in here. You're back. You're back. It's so good to see you. I can see my reflection. I'm in Jay's room, so you see all her little memorabilia. I'm sitting on her bed. Whoo! I tell you that I don't know. I don't know if you guys have seen the short that I did on me trying to bring down a tree. I had a huge, gigantic palm tree that my ex planted in this yard 45 years ago. Do you believe that? It was in like a little 5-gallon tub and it just grew and grew and grew. And I guess it was in the perfect location. But about a couple of months ago, it started dying off. There's something called beetle infestation or something. I don't know. But this beautiful palm tree, which, once they're that size, they're literally worth tens of thousands of dollars. But I wish I had sold it before it died, huh? But anyhow, so my next door neighbor was in an uproar because it was dying. And anyhow, but let me greet you and I'll tell you the rest of the story when I come back. Let me say hello to everyone. Ah, Nora, so good. I know my channel is growing, isn't it? I don't know why, but it is. I'm not gonna complain. I'm happy. Uh hey Martha One, how are you? Boomer in the Burbs, hello, hello. Rose Grace is in the house. I have people who've been complaining because I greet people, but that's just how I do it on Saturdays. And I know it's annoying to some people, but come in 10 minutes later and you'll miss it all. But I just want to acknowledge everyone here. And I know sometimes there are people who don't have any other social interaction. And this is your community and your way to say hello. And I want to acknowledge you and thank you for being here because I truly, truly appreciate it. And this is one of the highlights of my whole week, being able to see you. And I want to say hi to each and every one of you that I can. As you know, a lot of times I get so far behind, I don't get to. But when I can, to the best of my ability, I want to say hi to everyone. And hey, Barry. Hi, Barry. I said this last week that we haven't talked, but we do have to talk. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Royal.Glowbies right off the bat. Thank you for reminding me. Hit that like button, you folks. Hit that like button. It helps. I don't know why, but it helps the algorithm. So hit it if you will. Hey, Lifestyle Coaching with Donna. And I still want you to come on and talk about what you do. And maybe today, if we have time, you can come on, just share just a little bit. And maybe another week you can come on and we can just give more time for you. Anyhow, Vaughn's on a rolls in the house. Who else is here? Maggie Smith. Oh, Maggie says, I usually end up losing money when I am a cheapskate. Oh, I know. There is a difference. It's subtle, but there's a difference between being frugal and being a cheapskate. And sometimes, even at this age, I still have to be reminded and learn that. Maggie says, the only reason I have a good car now is that my daughter helped and insisted I get something better. Well, what a great daughter you have. That's fabulous. Oh my goodness. Miss Nat, hello, Miss Nat. How are you? And Sylvie's in the house. 3 generations. I couldn't find you. Oh, I'm glad you did. 3 generations. Sylvia Castillo's in the house. Hello. That sounds like a new name. Ann Holland's here. I hope everyone's having a great weekend too. CW Style 3. Yes, we've had a rough week. Other things, but I'm not going to go into them right now. Maybe another time. Hey, Patty Bev is here. Hello. Love and light. Yes, if we can keep love and light. Karina's in the house. Good to see you too. Maggie says, It's also how I ended up in West Virginia because I'm cheap. Uh-oh. No infrastructure here and corrupt. Cost me $80 to get to the nearest airport. Wow. Yeah, that can be a challenge. Oh my goodness. Tina Laplace. Hey Tina, how's it going? I think I'm getting, hey Judy, how's it going? I want you to come on and talk about Alaska. I'll call you and we'll plan that because I know Judy doesn't like being on camera, but we want to hear about your trip to Alaska. Yeah, coming from a nice sunny California. It's a beautiful day here today. It really is. Hey, one of the holy, my sister in love. Hello, hello, Amy. Uh, I think I'm saying hello to everyone. Hey, Bronwyn is in the house. Good morning from Australia. I don't know why I do this myself. If I have the money, it's just best to do the job properly. You're right. What more can I say that you're right? But I'm going to tell you how it worked out. And I'm still here. I didn't have to escape to Argentina or somewhere. So I'll tell you how it worked out. Oh my gosh. Hey, Vicky. Hello, Vicky. So good to see you. Dana's in the house. Thank you, Dana. Oh my goodness. Donna Moore is here. Patty Irwin. Oh, Patty. Hello. How's it going? Trying to get life and feelings together after Dad's passing. I know, and dealing with the estate. That's a lot to deal with, Patty. I know, having had two parents pass. So I hope you're doing okay, and that all the prayers that have been going your way and sent your way have been a comfort to you. So what a fabulous daughter. What a fabulous daughter. And I just salute you, Patty. Let's see who else is in the house. Elsa. Hi, Elsa. Hello. Uh, Karina says, I live alone and it just feels good to see and be seen. It does. And that's why I like acknowledging and saying hi to everyone. And that I appreciate your being here. Hi, Yvonne Lee. Hello. Patty says, I have some medical things to do that I've been putting off caring for your dad, but those doctors just don't jump when I tell them to. I know. It takes a while. I was supposed to have a CAT scan Friday, and I went in. No, Thursday. I take it back. Thursday. I went in to have it. I have small veins, and it's always a challenge. Well, they have to put this thing in because it was going to be one of those tracer ones where they put chemicals and watch it. Well, they couldn't get the chemical in. They got an IV in, but they couldn't get any vein to hold it. 3 different people stuck me with a needle 5 different times. And finally I said, you know what? I just can't keep doing this. It's not working. Because I was all bruised up. They even tried to get it out of the back of my hand. And I'm telling you, that hurts. So now I'm going to have to try. I made another appointment, but it's not for another couple of weeks. And my doctor's saying this is urgent enough. I need to get this done. So I'm going to have to try and get it done at a hospital. So, right. Even if it's a stat, like urgent, they'll fit you in when they can fit you in. So I tell you. But anyhow, I hope you're able to get yours done, Patty, and take care of yourself, because when you're taking care of others, whether it's a special needs child or a very critically ill parent, you do often let yourself and your medical needs go, which is not a good thing. But hey, Donald's in the house, my brother. Maggie says Corona, New Mexico. No, it's California. Who else is in the house? I'm hoping. Hey, Graham is here. Is the bride watching you? So you're going to be on your good behavior, Graham. Hey, Donna Moore says, I'm moving to a new place. Ooh, so I have people picking up furniture. How exciting, Donna. Oh my goodness. Going simple now. Well, you have to tell us more about that. Are you going tiny or what are you doing? Hey, Lucille, I don't know what's the matter with my mouth. Lucille P. Hello. I'm glad you did catch me live today. Freedom Explorer is here. Hello. Maggie says, Alaska is magical. I drove and lived there in the 80s. Well, I'm planning on taking a trip to Alaska next summer. That's my plan, God willing, and the creek don't rise. That's the plan. So we'll see. Donald's saying hello to everyone. Yes, Donna says, Jesus is leading me. I tell you what, if we would only let him lead us more often, isn't that the truth? Hey, Liddell, hello. First time on the live. Well, welcome. Welcome, Liddell. And I'm going to have a special welcome for all of you at the end, if I can remember it, if my brain is still working. But welcome. I'll welcome you right now. Judy says, you are right. Only well-known folks go in front of a camera. I'll tell my story at your meetup. Okay. Well, you be there at the meetup, Judy, and tell your story because we want to hear. I want to hear all about your trip to Alaska. I really do, because I want to get all the tips and, stuff. The Turners are on the road. Hello, Turners on the road. So good to see you. Keeping up with Colorado. How are you doing? How is your health doing keeping up with Colorado? I know you had some serious challenges, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you. This is Jessica picked this hat out for me today. So she was my assistant today. Brenda Berner's in the house. Oh, on your way to Burning Man. Oh my goodness. No, that I go to a lot of meetups, but that would be a bit too much for me. I do want to go to a meetup though in September in Big Bear. So I'm planning on that. Hey, Donna says, how are you today? Praying for everyone. Thank you. Thank you. All of the prayers are welcome. Hey, Vicky Vasper Fenton says, I hope you're feeling better after surgery. I am, but still more hurdles to cross or to go over. So we'll see. We'll just see how it turns out. My faith, I know who my fate belongs to. So thank you, CW3 Style 3. I appreciate that. All right, Miss Net. Hey, Tim is in the house. Mo bang for your buck. One of the guys. You, Donald, Graham, Kenneth. Oh my goodness. If now, when? That's a good question to ask yourself all the time. If not now, when? By the way, I have a video that I finished, but I just couldn't get it up. I don't know if I'm going to put it up this afternoon because it's kind of late, or wait till Monday. But it is a video on budgeting. And I have so many, not really on budgeting, but on tips to save money if you're really in a desperate financial situation with income. And I get so many people who write to me and who I see on other Facebook groups. I saw someone on a Facebook group for seniors who was sharing that she only eats every other day in order to save money on groceries. I was like, holy crying out loud. I mean, so I did some tips and I hope they're going to be helpful. So whenever I do a video, I send out an announcement to all of you that are subscribed. So you'll get an announcement and know. I don't know whether I'm going to do it tonight or on Monday. And I didn't air my cooking video because I planned on putting it up instead, but I just couldn't get it all together in time. It's done now, but we'll see. But keep watching for that. 3 Generations says, Carol, drink lots of water before they take your blood. I did, but apparently I didn't drink enough and my veins weren't pumped up enough. So yeah, they did give me this thing, and that is great advice to kind of pump up your veins. So I guess I'm going to have to drink a couple of gallons before I go in next time. And you have to do it. You can't just do it an hour or so before. You've got to do it. Start 24 hours in advance. Anyhow, hey, Kathy Stevens. Hello. I think I've gotten everyone. Maggie says, tell them to get the anesthesiologist to do the stick. Well, they did that at the hospital, but here's the problem. They did that at the hospital when I had my last surgery. They had someone come down from it. They had a doctor come down, but she couldn't get it. So they had someone else come down from anesthesiology, and he did it. But he had a little device. It's like a little scanner, and it goes over your veins, and you can see, about the veins. But they don't have this device at the place that I went to. And when I was at the hospital, when I had my gallbladder removed and they had to have the anesthesiologist come down, and one other time when I was at a hospital, they did a stick in the artery in my neck. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. I can't tell you how scary it is because they have to have a surgeon. It can't be the anesthesiologist. Actually, it has to be the surgeon come down and surgically implant that in your, because it's, I mean, can you imagine if they mess up your artery? So no, that's just too scary. I do not want to have them do that. But if, anesthesiologists can get it in my arms, that's okay. But oh, your grandfather was born in Australia, Patty. Interesting. Graham says the bride is within arm's reach, so no Bigfoot jokes today. I love the bride. I love your bride. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Graham, uh, Tim is saying hello to everyone. And hey, Donna, how are you? Monica, California is saying, dearest California, all you've got going on, and you are faithful to take time. Send love to your viewers and friends. Thank you, Monica, California. But you know what? This is a precious time. This Saturday is such a precious time for me because it's time I get to feel like I'm having a direct interaction and connection with you. And that is very special to me. It really is. And so I'm not going to stop it. And if there are people who don't like it, I hate to see you go, but if you have to go, you have to. But this is part of who I want to be and how I want to represent my channel and my viewers. So it's my special time with you, and I enjoy it as much as you guys do. Hey, Savannah, hello. All right, well, I'm going to, Jackie McDonald's in the house. Hello, got busy at work, and the love started. Oh, my goodness. The love is starting here. Elsa says, like welcoming, not able to see chat in action. Oh, I'm sorry you can't. You should be able to, though, Elsa. I don't know why you can't. But anyhow, everyone's saying hello to everyone. Donna says, is that Glow? I used to meet up with people once a month. I don't know if I'm the same, but I only Glow that I know of. Oh, Lucille, thank you. A super chat. I appreciate it so much that you guys think enough of me to do that. It always stuns me, but I'm just grateful for it. Even 10 cents. I'm grateful for it. Thank you so much for your generous contribution, Lucille. That goes into the fund that I help others with. So thank you. Graham says, please don't hold that against him. Hold what? I missed that. All right, I'm going to get on to telling you guys about what happened. What happened with this tree that you guys saw. Many of you may have seen this short. Well, as I said, I have a huge palm tree, or had a huge palm tree in my backyard. One night there was this thunderous crash, and it sounded like someone was crashing through the back door, breaking in. So, I grabbed my pepper spray, grab, a hammer. And what am I going to do with a hammer? Throw it? Anyhow, so I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and stay for them to come after me and Jessica. So I go running down the stairs, and no one has gotten in. So I'm looking around and I'm thinking, well, that's weird. Maybe it's, but I wasn't going to go outside. So I said, okay, well, no one did. So I'm going back in, and I came back in. I waited a little while, didn't hear any more noise. So finally I went back to sleep. Well, Jessica went out the next morning to the backyard to empty trash. And lo and behold, she comes back in screaming, Mom, the tree fell down. The tree fell down. So I go outside. The tree had not fallen down. It's about as big around as a king size bed, or a double king size bed. That's how big this tree was, and the trunk of it, and but the crown, I guess there's a crown on these trees, had fallen over. Thank God it fell over into my yard. And it had all of these huge abundance of leaves. I mean, just full. They had just whoosh, fallen down. I don't know what caused it, but they just fell down. And that's what made that huge thunderous sound, was all of those branches, heavy branches falling down. So, but they spread all over my backyard. So I'm like, okay, well, a little while later that morning, my next door neighbor comes up to my door, him and his wife, and they're like, you've got to cut down that tree. You've got to cut down. Now, they had been trying to get me to cut down the tree even when it was thriving and well alive. They just didn't like it because sometimes branches would fall in their yard, which they would throw back over in my yard. So, I mean, it wasn't like they had to, anyhow. But, so, they had given me a thing on showing me where someone could buy my tree, but you'd have to take out my whole fence and then trying to get that tree out by the roots and lift it. I didn't want to take a chance on doing that and then lifting it up over and out all the way to my front yard, which is a little distance. I just didn't want to do that. Plus, I love the tree. It gave lots of shade and you can sit under it, and it was a beautiful tree. But now that the tree had died, they were like, now we got. And then my neighbor up above me has an ocean view, but my tree kind of blocked part of her view. Well, she says, oh, it didn't block my view. I've got other views. So I was like, okay, well, what's the big deal then? But she was always saying, well, maybe you might want to cut the tree down. And she even went to the homeowners association to try and make me cut the tree down. Although when I said something to her, she goes, oh, it doesn't block my view. Well, then why are you trying to get the homeowners to make me cut it down? Anyhow, long story short, this tree has been, so they're over here. And I have to say, the day that they came over, I was not the most gracious. I had just gotten out of the hospital. I was in a lot of pain. I was still bleeding a lot. And I was not, a happy camper. And they're, well, you know what? You need to cut the tree down. It's died and it's going to fall into our yard and it's going to take out our house. And, and I was like, it's not going to fall. I already had someone come look at it. It's sturdy. It's not going to fall. The trunk is, well, it's going to fall. It's going to take out and it's going to fall right in our bedroom. I was like, well, you know what? And she said, my wife can't sleep. The husband is telling me my wife can't sleep because she's afraid in the night. She doesn't sleep. She's afraid that it's going to fall on her and kill us. And I was like, well, you know what? I haven't been getting much sleep either. I just got out of surgery and I'm in pain and bleeding. So that's two of us not sleeping. So like I said, I wasn't my most gracious that day. Plus, they're kind of, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'll get an estimate. So he says, well, I'll get you an estimate. I'll get you an estimate. I was like, okay, you get an estimate. So he brings me over an estimate. Well, it's for literally thousands. I'm not even going to tell you how many, but more than 3, much more, thousands. And this was just to take the tree down to the root, which was go up about 4 foot. So I'm still going to have the stump. I'm to grind the stump. Oh, that's thousands to cut it down and just take out what they cut down, not take out the rest of the branches, not take out anything else, just what they cut down, and only to 4 foot, thousands. Now, to his credit, I have to say, but let me say this. It wasn't going to include grinding the stump, which was another couple thousands, and removing that. It was going to be literally thousands of dollars. So I was like, well, this is not happening. This is not happening. So I started getting other estimates. And this crew that I hired gave me the best estimate. Now, one crew was going to have to, they were going to have to take out my fence and bring machinery in and, blah, blah, blah. And then have to have my fence rebuilt. And I was like, I don't have $10,000 to take out a tree, and now to my neighbor's credit, he did offer to pay the $1,500 to take the tree down. That's just take it down, but nothing else. But I did not want that. And I'll tell you why, because he's going to be over in the yard supervising it, telling me, because about a week or so after he gave me the estimate, I was talking to another neighbor and he comes down the hill, well, Carol, have you gotten this? And I said, I've gotten someone to do it. Oh, do they know it? I said, I've gotten someone to do it. Well, are they going to, I said, I've got someone to do it. And, question after question. So I was just like, if I had okayed him paying for part of taking the tree down, he would have been, I believe, and I could be wrong, he would have been over here trying to supervise it, tell me what to do. Oh, don't do that. And I just didn't want to deal with that. So I got this person who was recommended by someone, and he said he's taken down a lot of these kind of trees. So I'm thinking, well, if you've taken down a lot of these kind of trees, you should know what you're doing, right? And also, I wanted it so that, he had the rope. I thought what he was going to do was cut the tree down to a certain length. And then when he got it cut down and little by little, pull the rest of the tree down. That's what my thought was. Well, so they come out there and I come in the house and I come out about 15 minutes later. Well, they've cut down the whole, not the whole, but a lot of the back side of the tree. They've cut into the middle of the trunk. So the tree is tilting over my neighbor's fence into his yard. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. I'm like, no, no, no. And they've got like two people who are trying in the trees, pulling them, dragging them down my bank. And so then I'm like, get over. So they run over there. Two more go on there. And so they get it. And I'm like, you got to cut it on this side. Get it cut this way so it'll go that way. Because I'm trying to explain it. And they're, they're yelling at each other. And they're talking Spanish. I can't understand. I'm like, cut it. And I'm going over there like this. And I'm looking at this tree tilting. And I'm like, that's when I did the video. You guys didn't see it tilt because they kind of pulled it back. There was 4 or 5 people over there. And they kind of got it tilted back. And I missed the shot. I missed the money shot. The shot when they got it. And it just, all of a sudden, it just snapped and came over into my yard. And they had it wrapped around another tree. And it was, I'm telling you, it was the scariest moment. At that moment, I was thinking, before it came down, I was thinking, I should have just paid the money. I should have just paid the money. I should have just paid the money and got into debt. I should have just charged it, which is against everything I tell people to do. But it did get down. It came down in my yard. It took about 3 days to get it all out, cut up. Whereas, like I said, if I'd hired the other company, they said they would have had it all done the same day because they had huge trucks and these things that you put it in and it crushes up and, crushes up all the tree and everything. But this was, the homeboys. And they didn't have all that stuff. So they had to cut up part of it, put it in a little truck, take it to the dump, come back, cut up some more. So it was about a 3-day process to get it all done. But it got done, and that's why, I'm titling this the video that I have for this the caption of this live, God spared me from my own foolishness, because he truly, truly did. I know this is a long drawn out story. I'm sorry for taking so long, but that's what happened. And it was a scary experience. And I'm wondering how many of you have, in an effort to save money, how many of you have ended up doing something that scared the daylights out of you, or that maybe didn't turn out well like this did and turned out, because I haven't done that many things that I've had to then go back and pay more to get fixed. But this was one that had that tree gone down on my neighbor's. Thank gosh he was at work. Can you imagine if he had been here seeing that teeter? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But he was at work, thank goodness, when it was done. So, Nana She 3 times. Did I miss the topic conversation? No, it's about crazy things that we've done to save money, to spare a dollar. Although this wasn't just sparing a dollar. This was sparing thousands of dollars. But had it gotten on my neighbor's house, it would have probably cost me $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000. So, which would have made that $10, whatever it would have been, look cheap. But Patty says, Graham, one of my boy's favorite songs when he was young was Wild Colonial Boy. Should I have been worried? Oh my goodness. Nora says, I drink at least 3 bottles of water before blood work. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I actually did drink. I think I drank almost close to a gallon over the whole day, but I guess it wasn't enough. Oh, Cade Arcade says, newbie here, have to run, but notifications are turned on. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you for being here, Cade. So sorry I didn't get to recognize you before you left, but so glad you were here. Hey, Graham says, why did the boy, oh boy, I thought, did the bride step away, Graham? Why did the boy throw butter out of the window? He wanted to see a butterfly. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's Graham. Graham's back in the swing of things. Hey, Jodine Hearn, hello. It is your channel. You schedule as you please. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I say. Hey, they want a channel that you don't greet anyone. Start your own channel and don't greet anyone. See how that works for you. I don't know what else to say. Oh my goodness. Nora says, I've got floater veins. Yep. So they always have a tough time. A nurse gave me the water advice. Yeah. I have to just drink more. I guess I'd have to drink more than a gallon. What can I say? But everyone is greeting everyone. Maggie says, women in my family can't back up vehicles. It's genetic. Now, how is that genetic, Maggie? That's funny. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you're a retired nurse. Oh, my goodness. I know, bro, and Graham is a hoot. He really is. Let's see. Elsa says, had 3 eggs some days better than others. I hope you're having a good one. Vicky saying, Joe Deans, totally agree. Yep. Hey, what can I say? Freedom Explorer, wonder why it died. Well, there's some kind of, I don't know, it's a virus or something, but one person told me that it was a beetle, but another person told me that birds pick certain things, and then and I know birds have landed in that tree, and then their droppings have this virus or whatever it is, and it kills the tree. But I think the beetles sound more logical, but that they burrow in and they eat it from the outside in or from the inside out. I don't know. I guess the inside out. But there's another house down the street that has 2 beautiful, magnificent, it's a huge house, really much nicer than mine, but it has one of these big trees on either side of their driveway. And one of the trees I noticed also has died and looked like mine did when it was dead. The picture that I showed in the short was the picture after all the branches had fallen down. I mean, before it looked like a huge, gigantic umbrella. I mean, it was just massive. But it looked like a bald tree, the picture I showed you. But yeah, it's supposedly some kind of parasite that, and they said there is some kind of treatment you could have done if you catch it early on. But I didn't realize it was happening because, the leaves always kind of turn brown and some of them fall off. So I didn't until it was too late, until I had a gardener come in to do some work, and he said it had died. So at that point, there was nothing I could do to save it. Hey, Red. Hello. One of my great moderators and members. Hello. Graham says, why do you smear peanut butter on the road? It goes with the traffic jam. Graham, where's the bride? Cade Arcade says, keeping up, saying hello to everyone, and said, by the way of Texas. Okay, keeping up with Colorado, by the way of Texas. Looking forward to chat with everyone next live. Well, I'm looking forward to that too, Cade. Everyone is saying hello. Yeah, so that was my excitement for that week. It was, yeah, I'm glad. It was just a God thing that tree, we were able to get it coming down the right way. And they did a good job. They got it down. They put all the manpower. They got it. But my understanding is just the top portion alone. There was still, even at the crown fill, there was still a portion up there that one of the people who I came to give me an estimate said weighed 600 pounds. Just that very top, not including all that heavy trunk. So, yeah. What can I say? It is what it is. So I'm looking to see if thank you, Judy. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. I know, Patty, everything costs thousands. I remember the last time I got that tree trimmed. Well, one time that I got a tree trimmed many years ago, and they trimmed it down really, it was like $300. So based on that, I thought cutting it all the way, but everything now, um, everything. I spoke with someone, I'm not going to say who it was, but to do some work for me, $400 an hour. My mechanic at their shop, $250 an hour. I mean, it's just, how can you even afford almost to breathe with these prices? But again, I have a video coming out with some tips in it, um, on some things you can do to manage your budget and maybe stretch your budget. But yeah, everything. Graham, why can't you trust atoms? They make up everything. All right, Graham, I'm putting you in timeout temporarily. I'm putting you in joke timeout. um, Patty says, Carol, tell your neighbors what part of I just had surgery do you not understand? I know. Well, you know what? Let's face it, people, the most important thing to people are things that revolve around them. I mean, I guess that's just human nature, you know? So, uh, Elsa said she's going to bring something down upon herself. Pray for her. No, I'm not. I'm not going to bring anything else down upon me, but pray for me. Yes, pray for me, but I'm not bringing anything else down. Trust me. I learned a very valuable lesson. Valuable lesson. And if I had to do it over again, I would make them go up and cut down. But they'd already cut, by the time I went back out there, they'd already cut the back. And that wasn't how he'd explained they were going to do it to me. So, or do it when he explained it to me. But anyhow, you know, um, I know, Tim. And I missed the money shot. I was so panicked. I turned the camera on my phone off because I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I couldn't focus on. And then just as I was thinking, oh, maybe I should turn the camera back on, all of a sudden it went, it just came towering down. It was like a skyscraper coming down, and it hit the ground, and everything just went. I was standing several feet away, and I was on the side, but it just all of the thing came. I had all this stuff covered in everything from it, leaves and everything. But I looked after all the dust kind of settled, and I was like, oh my gosh. I'm looking, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No one got hit. No one's dead. Everyone's still okay. I was like, my heart was pounding. Oh my gosh. Miss Net, it was scary. It was very scary. Yeah, Donna, that was Jesus that took care of the tree that day. I have to admit, I was so scared. Have you ever been so scared you forget to pray? And that's not typical for me, but I was so scared. I didn't even think to say, God, please, 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 please. I was just so scared after I thought about it. That as it was going down, I was not praying. I was just thinking, please don't, please. I was, oh my goodness. Wood chipper. Yeah, they have a wood chipper that you put all the pieces in. And, it would have only taken like one, and they had a huge, gigantic truck, because they have tree service that they just take it all in one load. But this took several loads and over several days. But they got it done. They got it done. They did a good job. They cleared it out. So, but I do still have the stump because they didn't have a grinder to grind the stump, and they'd have had to rent one. And, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do about the stump. Because I certainly don't want to pay a couple $1,000s to get the stump removed. So I'm going to try and find a cheaper alternative, but not a dangerous one. I know that was a close one. That was a close one. I know, Sylvie and Sierra. Yeah, it got done. So my neighbor did send me a little note, or I didn't even know he had my phone number, but he texted me and said thank you very much for taking it down. So they were very grateful. So I guess now his wife is sleeping at night, not afraid that she's going to die in her sleep. So, yeah, I am too. And I'm very, very glad. Mo Bang said, Shady Tree and Tilted Cruise. It was, yeah. You can always watch the replay, Susie. You can always watch the replay. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're doing good. Thank goodness you're doing good, Nora. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, at last it's done, Marta. At last it's done. Uh yeah, Donald says when I pick up when I come out next summer, I won't have to pick up palm leaves. No, you won't. And that palm tree, I'll tell you, when Jessica was smaller, and those leaves, the fawns or whatever they call them, they're sharp as razors. Jessica, when she was younger, when she was about maybe 7 or 6, I had, a picnic table in the backyard. She drug, I was in the house, she went in the backyard. She was out there playing. She drug, she drug with a dog. She drug the picnic table over to underneath the palm tree. And I don't know where she got this idea from, but she grabbed hold of one of the large branches and she got on her tiptoes, took it, and started swinging with on the branch. Well, of course, on her weight, the branch came down, and one of those pawns went right through her calf, right through it. She came screaming in the house, and off we go to the emergency room. And the doctor in the emergency room was like, well, it was a female doctor. I'll never forget. And she said, well, I don't want to remove this. I don't want to. I said, so what's she supposed to do? Live the rest of her life with this in her thigh? This needs to come out. Take it out. She goes, well, so finally we got another doctor who came and got it out. But this doctor was like a nervous Nelly and didn't want to take the. I'm like, so what are we supposed to do? Her walk around with this in her, going through her calf the rest of her. But yeah, so this palm tree, we have a lot of stories about this palm tree, but that one with Jessica. And I asked her, I said, what made you do that? She goes, well, I was just being Tarzan. I was like, just being Tarzan? Oh, the story. Everyone tells me we could have a sitcom. Our family, me and Jessica, we could be a sitcom. But anyhow, it's down. It's down. Caffeina Bean says, I have one I need done, but I cannot afford it. It's $4,000. One day I'll lose my house over it. Well, tell me where it is and I'll send my crew out there. And it won't cost you $4,000. But you may have a heart attack, but it won't cost you $4,000. But yeah, you do have to, if they die, you do need to take them down because they will. And several people did tell me at one point they would become so weakened that they will come down. And you have no control over which direction they come in. So I would suggest, now one time I had a tree that I had to get taken down on my bank in the back. And there's this guy from Tonga. He said, oh, we climb these trees all the time on Tonga. I was like, what? So he had a thing that he strapped around the tree, and he had these things that he put on his feet, and he literally put one foot on one foot, took it out, and he literally climbed up to the top of this huge, tall tree with strapped in, and I was just watching it in amazement. So maybe you can find someone from Tonga who's used to climbing tall trees, but he did that, and he cut that tree down little by little by little. But before, I shouldn't admit this, but I told him, I said, are you sure you can do this? So I've had some questionable things with trees. I said, he goes, oh, we do this all the time in Tonga. We go to trees much taller than this in Tonga. I can't use his accent, but he goes, oh, this is nothing compared to the trees we climb in Tonga. So I told him, I said, I'm going to tell you this now. If you fall out of that tree and expire, I'm not calling you. I'm burying you in my backyard. And he looked at me like I was a crazy lady. I said, yeah, I'm a crazy lady. So don't get on that tree unless you know what you're doing and you can do this. And he was like, he was a little scary. He goes, I can do it. I can do it. Of course, I didn't mean that. But so me and trees, we have a history. So anyhow, yeah, Caffeine, it's very, very, who would have thought that it was that expensive? to get a tree taken down. Yeah, but it is. It is. Keeping Up with Colorado says, welcome to Carol's Globies Live. All newbies. Yes, yes, yes. Barry said, I did not see your tree. I have taken down a bunch of big palm trees in my yard, even by myself. What? With one friend next door. Should have called me to help. Too late. Yeah, I should have called you, Barry. You can figure out how to do everything. Mo Bang says, so the palm tree need an arm and a leg to cut it down. It needed a lot. Red is telling Caffeine of being, hope you don't. What? Hope she doesn't use my crew? Oh, Jan Whittle says, I hired my sister-in-law to do some work that was shoddily done and remains unfinished. Lovingly, oh, your son-in-law, okay. Lovingly fired him and hired a professional. Yeah. Yeah, I hired someone from my goddaughter's church to paint Jessica's bedroom. He spray painted it, didn't cover anything, and spray. I come up here and I'm like, what are you doing? Because there's paint everywhere on all the furniture, on the bed. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, well, this was faster. I said, no, you didn't cover anything. I was fit to be tied. I was like, I'm not even going to tell you, he didn't cover anything, covered nothing, and is in here spray painting. Whew, yeah, yeah. So, Jan, you're right. It does pay sometimes to hire a professional. And then um, this was anyhow. He's supposed to be electrician also, right? Well, I'm not even going to go there. He was going to hook up a microwave. This was before this. And the microwave, I don't know what. I didn't realize till after he'd already done it, because he did this the next day, the painting the next day. When I turn on certain lights, the microwave would pop. I don't know. And he's supposed to be an electrician. So I asked him, I said, do you realize when I found that out, when I finally had the light on, he goes, oh, don't worry, I can run wires through your attic. I said, no, you're not running any wires, anything in my house. You already messed up my microwave. I'm getting a professional in. And I was telling my my goddaughter's husband who had recommended, I said, you know what? Don't send him anywhere else. And if I had hired him to do my electrical through my attic, my house would have burned down and I would have deserved it after seeing the shoddy job he did on the microwave and on the painting. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't pay. Sherry says, I cut my own hair to save money. I just had to put it in a ponytail. Was that because of the cut job you did? Oh my goodness, I tell you. Colorado, Keeping Up with Colorado says, you guys are so funny today. I know some of the stories. Graham says, blame Don. He asked for a joke. Okay, yeah, I am blaming Donald. Hey, Andrea from Canada. Hello, hello. Donald says the tree was at least 8 to 9 feet round at the base. Yeah, it was. It was gigantic. It was humongous. Humongous. Oh my gosh. Um, uh, let's see. Red says, I had to have several trees taken out at my house in Georgia. It's probably $3,000. Yeah. Yeah. That is so much stuff I couldn't do. Sold it as is. Yep. It's very expensive. Elsa said, you had tree inspection on a good tree. Act of God would land on their insurance company, not you. Well, it wasn't an act of God. It would have been me if they had taken it down. But as a responsible neighbor, even, knowing that the tree was dying and that it possibly could have fallen on them, and maybe say they had been in somewhere else in the house and it had fallen on them and seriously injured one of them or worse, I just, as a responsible neighbor, it was my duty to have that tree taken down. Once people came over and said sooner or later it's going to fall, I just needed to, I didn't want to wait till the later. So, I just did what I needed to do. And I would hope that anyone I was living next to would do the same thing given the same circumstances. Um, so Brendan Burner, the gate to Burning Man just reopened back on the road. Wow. Wow. Oh, maybe one day. I don't know. No, I've heard that you get so much dust and dirt in your vehicles that you can never ever get them cleaned out again, the engine and everything. And a lot of places, when you rent an RV or something, they have a stipulation that you cannot take it to Burning Man. So, no, I just don't want to take a vehicle to Burning Man. Yeah, maybe I would ride with someone else, but I just think at this stage in my life, that's just more than I want to take on going to Burning Man. But I hope you have a fabulous time, Brenda. I really do. Sherry said, I just had blood work done. I had to fast for 12 hours and only drink water. They got my blood out super easy. You're lucky, Sherry. That never, ever happens to me. Rarely, rarely happens. Red says, I got my neighbor to get their tree taken out that might have fallen on my house. So I was glad about that. Yeah. Yep. Yep. They can fall easy. This one would not have fallen easily except because it's so sturdy, except for that it had died, from the infestation. All right. Red says, clean jokes are okay, Graham. Yes. Sherry says, my sister-in-law had a neighbor's tree fall into her backyard and broke part of their fence and a commercial business trailer. Wow. They had told them to remove it and they didn't. They're suing them now. Yeah, I know they would have sued me. They absolutely would have sued me. But, you just want to be a good neighbor if you can. Just like when we're in vans or campers and we're camping, the same concept. We want to be good neighbors. So, hey, travels with the Turner says, hi everyone, Dale from Massachusetts here. I'm sorry, did I say I said travels with the Turner. I just saw travels and I just assumed travels with Tia the Terror. Oh my goodness. Tia, what happened? Tia says, Dale, this is Dale from Massachusetts here. I had a tree fiasco last year that cost me $4,000. Wow. I learned a lesson too. Yeah, these trees, when you start planting them, you don't realize the consequences. Plus, I had a tree that was on the side of my house. We didn't plant that one, but it was pine, and the roots were starting to go under the house, so we had to get that taken out quick and in a hurry. So some of these things can really cause tremendous damage if you don't deal with them. Red says, Carol, had a huge, beautiful hickory tree in my front yard, dropped nuts, branches. Yeah, I had to get it cut down. Yeah, so, and a lot of them can cause messes and just be a lot of maintenance. Susie says, could have broken all the sewer. Yep. All the entire neighborhood runs through my backyard. Wow. Oh my goodness. Cargo trailer Eric says, sold my little house in Waco. Don't deal with trees, lawn work anymore. Great full-time nomad. Great for you. How long ago did you do that, cargo trailer Eric? I would perhaps like to talk to you, maybe even interview you if you want to hit me up at Glorious Life. I don't know if you're still here in the chat, but if you want to hit me up at Glorious Life on Wheels at gmail.com. Again, I'll put this down here. I'll type it. Glorious Life on Wheels. Did I get it right? At gmail.com. I love talking to people who are who have just become nomads, and what started your journey, what made you decide to do it. Was it just that so many people insurance, especially in Florida, so many people who have moved to Florida and bought homes are so sorry because the insurance has gone through the roof down there. I mean, insurance and taxes. So a lot of people are trying to bail out now, and they're finding out that the insurance situation is, well, insurance situation in Florida is kind of like the insurance situation in areas in California. If you live near forest or where there's high risk of forest fires, you're having a terrible time getting any insurance that you can afford. I mean, it's just critical. Red says the tree was a hard decision. It was expensive. Yeah, yeah, because the roots go under your house. Uh oh, DJ on the road. Brenda is saying. Susie says not sure if he's there this year. Oh, okay. So you're going to try and find someone at Burning Man. Who else? Holly Franco says put a tabletop on it. Maybe one of these times I'll do a live from the stump. Well, actually, I do kind of want to get the stump taken out, Holly. And maybe, this was a God thing because I've been thinking of putting a accessory dwelling unit or a shed to tiny house conversion in my backyard to rent out. And the best place to put it was actually where that palm tree was, but I didn't want to take the palm tree down. But now the decision was made for me. So maybe it was a God thing, getting it down so I could put my tiny house there. So we'll see. We'll see. Sherry says, depending on the height of the stump, you can use it as an outdoor table. Yeah, I'll see. I'll see. I'll show you guys maybe it on one of these lives. Yeah, I'll show it to you guys. Uh, Sylvie says, oh, Jessica, when I was about 7, I wanted to be Tarzan too. Yep. Well, she paid the price for being Tarzan that day. I know, Red. It is a sitcom living here. What can I say? VF says we use Aztec and they are very good. Okay, well, if I ever get a big move somewhere where there's another big palm tree, I'll have to think about that. One of the holy now, Amy knows, my sister in love knows that me and Jessica, we could be a sitcom. It absolutely, absolutely for sure. Oh my goodness. Keeping up with Colorado says finally get to travel a little bit. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Even if it's to the doctor 2.5 hours away. Driving myself first time. I owe it all to your prayers and the prayers of others. You know what? God is in the prayer answering business. He really is. He's still in the prayer answering business. And I'm so happy to hear that you're doing well. You know who else I'm asking for you to send up prayers for? And that's Chef Santa. He's not on here today, but he was in the hospital when he came on the live last week. So I'm just asking that everyone would send up some prayers for Chef Santa and that he gets the help that he needs. His prayers were answered and he got a lot of his meds for free and that were very expensive. And just pray that he comes out of the hospital, if you guys will. Miss Ned said, that's so funny about burying him in your backyard. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, but he skirted up that tree. I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. But he said in Tonga, that's what they do. And he got that tree down. So I wish I still had his number, but Graham says, I wonder if it's that expensive to take down a tree because of insurance. It could be. It could be because the companies that I was dealing with were licensed and insured. And of course, I didn't ask this crew, but I'm pretty sure that they were not. So it would have been on me. So, yeah. So, that's what my mom used to say to me, Carol, if you don't watch it, you're going to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Yep, Tim, that's it. VF says microwave is supposed to have a dedicated line to your fuse box. I don't know what happened, but every time I would turn on the light when I had the microwave running, every time I turn on the light and have the microwave running, it would blow the circuit. So I don't know. So even to this day, I don't turn on the microwave with the light on. It's just, something happens, you get traumatized and you're like, okay, forget it. I'm never doing that again. So I need to have an electrician come in here and check out all the circuits. I want to upgrade the wiring. Whew, but I'm going to have to save up for that, Red says, my ex strapped himself to a tree at our house, the one I got, and it scared me with a chainsaw. Oh, he was cheap. Yep. Yeah. Well, we used to, when we were kids, this is a whole different thing. we would, oh my gosh, I hate to even admit this. We had these trees, and because we had a big backyard when I was growing up, and we had some trees, I don't know what kind, but you could pull them all the way down almost to the ground. And we would get one of the kids and put the kid on there and then let go of the tree, and it would fling up and it would fling the kid over into the next yard. Do kids do crazy things or what? I'm not even gonna tell you some of the other stuff we did as kids. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But I tell you, we got plenty of beat downs. My mom used to beat the daylights out of us when we would do some of this crazy stuff. And it didn't stop, but we would just try and do it more on the sly. Oh goodness. Brown said, I heard of a woman who lost a tooth and made one out of clay to save money. I'm not quite that cheap. At least not yet, Bronwyn. I don't know, but I don't know. Donald says, no, Graham, they charge those high fees because they know we can't do it. And you ratted me out to Carol too. Oh, well, yes, he did. He did. I'm going to talk to you later, Donald. Oh my goodness. Red says, yes, Tim, that's my ex. He would do everything himself. So stupid. Go to work. He makes the bucks, but using his time to work on cars. Oh my goodness. Whew, yeah. Graham says, sorry, Donald. I was clutching at straws. Carol put me on timeout. I did. Karina says, I used to do 2 dispatch in Reno during Burning Man. Rental car agencies would not rent cars going to Burning Man because of the dust. Yeah, it causes so much damage and dirt to the cars. It really was a bad scene. So I don't want to take any of my vehicles ever to Burning Man. Hi, DDDS. Hello, fellas. How are you doing? Oh my goodness, it's after 4 and I'm supposed to be getting with someone maybe for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna, anyone on here who it's your first time, I've greeted some first timers, but if it's your first time, would you just say hello and put a number 1 so I can make sure that I acknowledge you and recognize you. Karina says that, yeah, living in Southern California, laborers do still gather, not at the Jack in the Box here. They gather at the Home Depot or the Lowe's, but you have to pick them up, put these individuals in your car. You don't know, you could be putting Jack the Ripper in your car so it's not really necessarily the safest thing to do, to just have a stranger get in your car and drive them up to your house. So, but a lot of people do, but those are mostly construction guys who are looking for extra laborers for the day. But I don't know that's the safest thing for a woman to go let some guy you've never seen before in your car. Don't know. Yeah, today's topic is trees. No, today's topic is foolish decisions I made trying to save $1, and one of them was on a tree. But and other things other people have done trying to save $1 that may not have turned out so good. Nora's saying, yeah, the topic is trees. Yeah, and tree trimming fiascos. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Don says, I wonder if my neighbors would sue me if one of the bears, gators, or snakes from my backyard bites them or gets into their house. I don't know, but that's why I want you to put down gravel all around your house, Donald. But anyhow, and Donald has a big pit in the front of his house, a ditch where it fills up when it rains, and I'm always afraid that there's going to be water moccasins in that sucker. Oh my goodness. Have you seen the photos that the bride sent you, Carol, on email? I have not. What name did she send it to me under? What name did she send them to me under, Graham? Because I don't typically open links. So let me know what name she sent them to me and I'll open it. Sherry said, my friend is the head of her HOA in Florida. Ooh, I told her I will pray for her. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got a notice from my homeowners about my front yard. So I had to, I did have this same crew. They completely leveled my front yard, took everything out. Now they're supposed to have put the mulch back in. I've been waiting 2.5 weeks for that because he gave me a certain price on doing this all, right? Well, the mulch that he was going to get for cheap, they're out of it. And the other mulch is twice the price. So he's like, well, I have to wait till the cheap the cheap mulch comes back in. So now my yard is down to the dirt waiting for the cheap mulch to come back in. I can't make this crap up. I can't make it up. I forgot that one. I forgot to tell you about that. But my yard actually looks better with it down to the dirt than the way it was. And they did do a good job because I had all these free rocks that on my travels when I'm going up mountains and I see rocks, I collect all these rocks and bring them home, so I had all these different rocks that I brought. Instead of buying rocks, I would just collect rocks everywhere I go. So they got the rocks all nicely around these little planting areas that I have, and they got them and they did a very nice job. So it looks better with it down to the dirt, but I'm waiting on the cheap mulch to come in to get my front yard finished. Oh gosh, yeah. That was a job that was about half the price too, so what can I say? I have to wait for the cheap mulch to get my yard done. Vaughn said, Carol, insurance companies are using satellite photos. They are. Yeah. I got a notice from my insurance company a few years back. I still had one of those wood thatch or whatever you call them, roofs. They told me they were going to cancel my insurance unless I changed out that roof because it was a fire hazard. So I had to get a new roof. I had to get a new roof if I wanted to get insurance. So yeah, they do. They're using satellite images to see if you have trees next to your house, and I have some trees on the side. These I don't need to get taken down, thank goodness. They're more bushes than trees, and I'm going to have them just trim those down so that I, don't have this problem with my insurance company. Oops. And also so that I'm moving this. This is on my leg. And so that I'm sorry about the pillow in the background. That's Jessica. You see, it's Jessica's court. But anyhow, yeah. So I have to get those trimmed because otherwise they're getting very, very, very strict as far as any bushes or trees in your yard that are close to your house. If you don't have a roof that's just the right kind, all kinds of things. Yeah, you're right, Vaughn. They really are. Don says, you better pray for Sherry. The HOA fees in Florida are so high. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I went to an HOA meeting. It's the only meeting I ever went to for this HOA. I think it's the only meeting I ever went to. No, I went to two. But this particular one, they were almost going to blows. I mean, they were screaming at each other. I was like, what the heck? You know what they were yelling about? Some people had mailboxes that had flowers planted around the bottom of the mailboxes, and other people didn't. And the people who didn't have flowers, and some had artificial flowers there, and they were screaming back and forth about whether these flowers should be allowed on the mailboxes or not. I kid you not. I kid you not. Yep. I was talking to another neighbor who lives a few blocks down, and she lives where our homeowners association ends and another one starts. And she was telling me, she goes, oh yeah, everyone was talking about how you guys at your homeowners were fighting like crazy. I was like, wow, we were known for fighting. Oh God, I didn't fight because I could care less one way or the other, But yeah, that's what they were, or they're also arguing about what color people were painting their mailboxes. Do you believe that nonsense? Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, let me see any number ones. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pass a lot of these. Sharon says kids still do crazy things, but they have knee pads and helmets to protect them. That's true. We do. They do have knee pads and helmets now. Brohan says, I'm cracking up here with all the funny situations. Oh my goodness. We did so. Don says, you didn't get beat. That was me getting beat every day. You were the one laughing. Oh, no. Well, true. I didn't get beat every day because I didn't do a lot of the stuff Donald did. But what my mom would do, because Donald would run away when my mom was trying to whip him, and she would say, grab him, grab him, grab him. And I would have to hold Donald. And now in those days, you could get spanked with switches and all kinds, and I would get whipped because I'm holding Donald. So yeah, I would get, every time he got in trouble, I got the whipping because I'd have to hold him because he'd run. And my mom would be like, I'm not chasing him. Carol, go get him. I'd be like, I'd want to say no, but I couldn't. So I'd have to, oh yeah, I could tell you stories. I could tell you stories. Oh my gosh. But it was the same in all the households throughout our neighborhood. I mean, hey, we had parents who didn't play. The whole neighborhood was like, and all of the parents in my neighborhood would call and tell the other parents on the kids. So, you couldn't do anything without it getting back home, because before you got home, there had been a phone call and your mom was waiting. My dad was away in the military, so my mom would be waiting at the door for us. And when we start walking up the street, we'd hear at the door, we'd be, doggone it, someone called, because I would try and get home so I could take the phone off the hook. But, a lot of times you couldn't get home in time to get the phone off the hook. And you'd hope that the neighbor would give up and quit trying to call. Oh, gosh. Oh, I could tell you the stories. All right. Anyone else? CW says, oh, prayers and condolences for Dave. Donald, did something happen with Dave's son? Oh my gosh. I missed that comment because I was skipping comments. Oh my gosh. Dave is my brother's neighbor. He's the nicest man you ever wanted to meet. And he was the one who's going to be building some of my tiny houses for my community. His son passed away. He had cancer. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yes, please do pray for Dave. Just a nice man, a brilliant man. I mean, he can build anything, everything. And his son passed. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. So please do pray for him. In fact, let me just say a prayer now. Dear Lord, just go and put a hedge of comfort around Dave and his wife for the loss of their son. What a horrible, tragic loss. And the son was a dad too, and touch his wife, the son's wife, and his children. Oh my goodness, just sending forward prayers to that family. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Sylvie says, cheap mulch. Gee, that really is someone out to save a buck. Well, it's like the one he was getting is like maybe $20, $25 a square foot or something. I don't know. And the other is like $40. So it does. And I have a kind of a good sized front yard, and we're going to do it in the backyard too. So it really adds up to hundreds of dollars. So, what can I say? He quoted me a price, and I don't want to pay more than that price, and he doesn't want to, so yep, that's it. Graham says, could fellow Globies please check out Handcrafted by Terry G? He's in needs of subs and is a great bloke down here and does a lot for charity. Yes, I will, Graham. Terry G. I will check Handcrafted by Terry G. Can someone drop the link for that channel, please? Handcraft, one of my mods, if you would be so kind as to drop a link for Handcrafted by Terry G. I would really appreciate it. Thank you, Graham. Be happy to help him. Is he a jokester too, though? I don't know if he's a jokester. Hello, Travels with Tia the Terror. All right. Yeah, no wood roofs. Yeah. They yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I talked with with Dave for hours. We talk about tiny houses. He's built up. He built. Did he build a container, or was it a? He's just done so many things over there, and oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for that. Yeah, they do yeah, Sherry, they do look and check, and if you have things that they think are a risk, they will cancel you or give you warning to take care of it, or they'll cancel you. Thank you, Red, for dropping the line for Terry G, handcrafted by Terry G. Thank you. All right. Um, yeah, Dave was that kind of neighbor. If he saw you working on a project, he would go home and get his tools and come back and help you on it. That's the kind of guy Dave is, you know. Oh yeah, HOAs. Oh, I hope to never own another property in an HOA. Although I have to admit, we went to a little party for one of Jessica's friends last night, and I was asking one of the parents how they like living in that community because it was close to here. She says, except for the HOA, I love it. But I was looking, they have this pool and jacuzzi and barbecue pits. And I was thinking, boy, wouldn't it be nice to have that? But I'm betting they're probably paying $500 a month for that. So, I'm not willing to pay that kind of money. So, you know, my homeowners here is, what is it? $80 a year. But we don't have anything that they've maintained. They don't have any common grounds. $80 a year for someone to drive around and give you violations. But anyhow, what can I say? All right, so hello, Linda Armbrewster. Hello, Brewster. Hello. All right, I'm trying to get down to thank you everyone who's saying prayers and condolences for Dave. Thank you. You do have to save where you can nowadays, Linda, and that's what my video is that's coming out. But I'm going to almost certainly put it out Monday now. It's too late to put it out today. Thank you, everyone. Hey, Lindy. Hello. How are you? We had a really great talk yesterday, chat, and Lindy's got some great videos on interesting topics coming out. So go over and check out Lindy's channel on Lava Lindy's Awesome Van Adventure. Hey, out Galvanton. Hello. Everyone's saying hello. And all right, I don't see any other ones. Can anyone who has a channel please put a C for content creator? It took you 7 years to use the community pool in your HOA, Sherry? Oh my goodness, I'd be using that sucker every day during the summer. Oh my goodness. And I'd be over there barbecuing up a storm. Oh my words. But Miss Net says, I lived under an HOA and you had to get permission to do anything, including washing your house. I know. It can really get crazy. It really can. But they pretty much leave me alone, except for my yard. They do get on me about my yard. My yard and my mailbox, they want me to paint it because it's kind of got a little rusty. So I just spray paint it. But all right, Out Gallivanton is a content creator. They're saying finally. Well, good. Okay, everyone go out and check out these channels. Out Gallivanton, 3 Generations, 393, Keeping Up with Colorado, Travels with Tia the Terror. I know that Lava Lindy is a content creator. Mo Bang for Your Bucks. Red-Headed Riding Hood. And Nora, go over and check out her on Nora Keg at Etsy. She doesn't have a channel, but she has a store over on Etsy with beautiful artwork and paintings. So anyone else that wants to be acknowledged, please, as a content creator, you've got about 30 seconds to do it because I am running way over and I got to get out of here. So thank you. My moderators, yes, drop your links for your channels and Keeping Up with Colorado, Red-Headed Riding Hood. All right, everyone that wants to, that's a content creator. Going once, going twice. Okay, Lifestyle Coaching with Donna Flynn is a content creator. Go over and check her channel out. And don't forget Graham's friend, Handcrafting with Terry G. And anyone else? Last chance for this live. All right. Okay, folks, I am going to make like a shepherd and get the flock out of here. Now, how do you like that for a joke, Graham? All right. Thanks, Via. I'll see you all. And don't take any wooden nickels. And don't be so cheap that you may have to pay double or triple or 100 times the cost for it later. All right. I'll see you guys later. Take care. I have a great video coming out on Monday. All right, folks. See you later. I'm going to try and get